At their first meeting, he hands her a book, and he asks her to read a passage that today resounds deeply in my life. It is the words of Omar Khayyam. Be happy for this moment. This moment is your life. And I was thinking about how differently I had started seeing things in my world and just passing through the day. And I read a couple of weeks ago something said by Steve Jobs after he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he said, up until that point in his life, that death was a useful but purely intellectual concept. I get that.
Yeah.
Until somebody hands you an ovarian cancer diagnosis on a silver platter and says, hey, this is it, this is probably how you're going to die, you know, kind of when you're going to die, like this is it, you don't get the brevity of life. You just don't get it. And whether that's a gift or not, I think is up to the interpretation of each individual. But I can tell you that I came to better understand my long-term diagnosis, which is that I would spend the rest of my life managing my cancer until a cure was found. Fortunately, the research into ovarian cancer treatment has exploded in recent years, and the possibilities on the horizon were amazing. But until then, I decided my cancer and I would just continue to live a happy and healthy little life together. I promised to play nice and not nuke the shit out of it, so long as it didn't try to kill me. So, in legal speak, we had sort of reached an accord, at least for the time being. The months passed as my acceptance of living in multi-month segments began to grow. And by this I mean, after I had my treatment, I am continually followed. So from that point until today and for the rest of my life, I have to go about every 3 months and have a blood test, because they're looking for a marker that will tell them if the cancer cells are proliferating at a rapid rate. So every 3 months, I have to drive down to the hospital and do my least favorite thing with my arms covered in letrozole numbing cream, because I hate needles. And I got to give a little vial of blood, and then I wait. Any minute, it seemed, the other shoe would drop, and my score would be off the charts, warranting another round of treatment. But oddly, I'd grown comfortable with this segmented living because it served a very important purpose, which was to keep me grounded in the present and serve as a reminder that my days here are numbered. They are with us all, I suppose, though most of us don't spend our days thinking about the limit. This segmented living continually prompted me to take stock of my life and what I was doing with it. It also piqued my curiosity about the why and how of the existence that we all have and what might come after this. It caused me to contemplate, yet again, what my higher self is supposed to be doing on this planet during the 15 minutes that we've each been given here. It's an age-old question for certain, but I couldn't stop asking it. What is my purpose here? Am I being all that I can be? What am I to learn on this journey? How much longer do I have? Will I get it done before I'm gone? Whatever it is. In my humble view, these questions warrant more than the 5 to 10 minutes or so we give them every few weeks while we're driving to work and between our mental list making, if that. People say all the time, oh, live for today, you could be hit by a bus tomorrow. Nobody believes that. You don't think you're going to go out here and get hit by a bus on Corte Madera Boulevard. If you did, you'd probably leave the room, right? If you thought you were going to die tomorrow, you probably wouldn't be here listening to me. You'd be doing something else. But all I'm suggesting is that taking some time, to actually think about, this is about how long you have here. What are you doing with the time that you're spending? Those were the questions that were coming to my mind. And I think that any big event like this in your life, I guess I call them the crises, but they are events, whether it's cancer, whether it's a divorce, whether it's the death of a loved one. They take courage to go through those and to face it, that's for sure. But they also provide opportunities for courageousness. And they provide you the opportunity to change things in your life that you might not have changed but for the catalyst that the crisis provides. It's really an opportunity to be courageous. People often ask how I was able to cope with my diagnosis and treatment, and the answer is as simple as it is complicated. For the most part, I just ignored it. Well, what does that mean? It means I took steps to treat it, and then basically I ignored it. I went on living my life. I didn't spend each day fretting and worrying about having cancer. Now, don't get me wrong, of course I thought about it. It just wasn't some part of my every waking moment. Because there comes a point when you can only do so much. The treatment will either work or it won't, but fretting and worrying and stressing yourself out about it won't help you. In fact, it can only do you harm. Enjoying your life is the key to fighting cancer. And in my view, enjoying your life is the key to dealing with every crisis that comes your way. Because they come and they go, and they always have, and they always will. And you have a choice about how you respond to them. Well, what has changed? Well, for starters, I don't save things the way I once did. You know that wonderful bottle of wine you've been saving for a special occasion? Drink it. Don't wait. Today is a special occasion. You want to go to Italy? Go. Don't take for granted that you have another day, or another year, or another 10 years to enjoy the bounty of planet Earth. See things. See people. Really look at them. Spend time doing what you love, with those you love. And feed your soul. Even if, like me, you have to continue working, well then try to do what you enjoy. Or if you can't do that, try to find some measure of pleasure in doing what you must. We all want to quit our jobs and become travel writers or run that bed and breakfast, make an independent film, or just relax. We all have that dream of escaping the monotony that is the workaday world, at least those of us who aren't in the now famous 1% or happily retired. But most of us can't just quit, at least not unless we're holding a winning lottery ticket. We must go on. But each new day brings new encounters and new experiences and new enlightenment about the ridiculousness of it all. And life is ridiculous, and it is so short. Don't waste it on things that don't matter. So there's this refrigerator magnet that says, don't sweat the small stuff. I love that, and I think that it's words to live by. And I also think that my good friends in Italy have summed it up really well when I think about this entire journey. And this is what they say. Non tutto il male viene per gli uccelli. And translated, it means, not all bad comes to harm you. Thank you so much for listening.